Have you discovered any hidden gems or local communities that you wouldn't have found without living on the water?
We made a number of friends through the sailing club, and while staying at the marina, some of them are not Singaporeans, but we feel close to them because of the common interest of sailing. While stuck in Singapore during COVID, we would invite friends who like to fish on the boat every week. After fishing, we would return home to cook the catch and share the meal with friends. For several years, this has turned into a weekly ritual for us, and through this ritual, we have formed a group of like minded friends.
Do you plan trips based on sailing conditions or on destinations you want to explore?
Both. There are two prevailing seasons in Asia, the northeast monsoon and southwest monsoon. We select destinations that we want to go to depending on the seasons. We also look at weather apps and try to sail on favorable days. That said, this is not very reliable and we have to be flexible and change sailing strategy depending on the weather.
Have you then faced any scary or dangerous situations at sea, like engine failure? How do you handle it?
We met with a squall once. The forces were really strong and the entire sky turned black. We decided to U-turn and run away. My boyfriend went to take down the sails while I took the tiller. The boat was heeling to one side and water was gushing over the side, and the tiller was very difficult to control due to the strong wind. But I tried my best and did not panic until I realized that I had lost control of the boat. Then my boyfriend spotted that the gear lever had switched to reverse due to the forces of the currents. After we rectified the issue, all was fine. So I would say that I am still functional during stressful periods. I may not be completely calm and lucid, but I would not go into meltdown mode.
That's an important aptitude to have. What has been the most difficult part of living on a boat for weeks at a time?
Hardest part for me is to have to teach online every weekend. It is a downer to have to anchor somewhere and spend hours teaching. On a boat, we are also very vulnerable to the weather. The most difficult parts are when the weather is bad and we cannot do what we want to do, for example, snorkel, visit a village, etc. Instead, we are staying watch on the boat to make sure that there is no anchor drag.
You can feel isolated, and if so, how do you manage mental and emotional well being while offshore?
Number, I love the solitude and quietness of a remote island. Being with nature suits me.
How do you prepare for emergencies, medical needs, or unexpected repairs in remote areas?
We do have a first aid kit and some basic medication. In emergency situations, we need to sail back to a major town and seek help. We also have Starlink for internet connection, which we can use to reach out to people. As a last resort, we have VHF radio that can call for SOS. We also brought additional spare parts in case the engine breaks down.
What was the most breathtaking view or moment you have experienced at sea that you'll never forget?
Once, a pod of dolphins swam alongside for at least 30 minutes. This has to be the best moment we ever had while sailing. I also love looking up at the sky when we are in the middle of the ocean. The pitch black sky is filled with so many stars.
Is there a piece of equipment or upgrade that dramatically improve your life on the boat?
Lithium iron phosphate batteries. These powerful batteries have enabled us to indulge in luxuries like a fridge, Nespresso machine, and Starlink.
What's your cooking setup like on a bobbing boat? Any favorite meals you have discovered?
We don't really cook while under sail. It's too dangerous. We eat sandwiches, salad, or out of a can. At anchor, we mostly cook rice and pasta with vegetables and meat. My favorite's gotta be bak kut teh and porridge during cold nights. As propane gas is limited on a boat, we can't have too many of such dishes that require long cooking times.
After serving for long periods of time, was it difficult to transition from life of adventure and mobility to one with more routine and responsibility?
When we returned to Singapore after 4 months of sailing, there was a sense of relief because I was able to spend time again with friends and family. I also had me time to develop more hobbies such as pottery and continue old routines like swimming. For this reason, I am happy to sail for long periods, but also with an eye on returning home to loved ones on a regular basis.
Early retirement often conjures images of travel and adventure, but for many, including you, it may be something quieter, being present at home. How do you see this way of fire compared to sailing?
I am perfectly happy to be in Singapore when not sailing or traveling. I can find a lot of things to occupy my time and my friends are nearby. For example, I spend time with my mother tending our garden allotment, and that gives me a sense of happiness. I don't feel bored or caged just because I am not sailing or traveling. In fact, there is a rush to accomplish as many on-land activities before the next sailing episode.
What does a typical day looks like for you now, and how do you personally define a meaningful day?
It's hard for me to define a typical day. On sailing days, we will be doing sailboat chores, fishing, replenishing supplies, or snorkeling. When not sailing, I'm on a pursuit to develop more hobbies such as pottery, diving, food dehydration, etc. At night, I'm either spending time with my mother or friends. Before bed, my partner and I would reconnect and watch some TV. A meaningful day is a day in which I achieve one thing, like having dinner with friends, or dehydrated tuna jerky, or swam some laps, or caught a fish, etc. It doesn't have to be 10 things. If I just sat around scrolling social media instead, then it has been wasted.
You recommended the SGFI Telegram group when we first spoke. Why do you think it's important to stay connected even after achieving financial independence? What kind of conversations do you find most valuable now?
I like to connect to retirees and find out how they are spending their free time as well as managing their finances. As I have yet to draw down on my portfolio, I learn a lot when the experienced people share their strategies with me. And through social media, I have made like-minded friends who understand me perfectly. FIRE can be a lonely journey because most of your real-life friends do not prescribe to this concept. Making friends through Telegram and Instagram has been very important for me. Recently, my Instagram friends have motivated me to try trading again, and I must say that the results have been encouraging so far.
Many Singaporeans in their 40s and 50s feel they have missed the boat, whether because of late starts, family commitments, or lower income. What would you say to someone who believes FIRE is only for those who begin young or live adventurously?
Retiring at any age is retirement. Just because it's late doesn't mean you don't try. I started investing quite late at 38 years old with only 50,000 savings. Thanks to a decent salary and investing in broad-based ETF and crypto, I managed to reach 1 million liquid net worth after 5 years. The reason why I could invest in a risky product like crypto was because I told myself it was cash that I could earn back in a few years. But if I did not invest, I would face losing something more important, time and freedom. My initial investment in crypto was about 60,000 in 2019, which rose to 600,000 by end of 2021. If you are financially stable and feel you could take on some risk, it may actually pay off one day. And I was not so gung-ho as to fully retire based on 1 million portfolio. In fact, I semi-retired with a freelancing job of 10 hours a week. The income I get could sustain me without having to touch my portfolio. So if shit hits the fan, I could dial up the freelancing hours to start accumulating again. And I believe this is something that is possible for people who start late or have family commitments. Start tracking your finances, how much is really enough for yourself and spouse. Some expenses, such as kids, are not forever. Start cutting your spending, start saving, and start investing today. If you do not take active steps to even try, then you will 100% never get there.
Your journey has taken you from being an educator to sailing the seas to being present at home. Through all these phases, what remains constant is choice. How has financial independence given you the power to keep choosing your path, even when it goes against expectations?
Being financially independent gave me the confidence to quit my job. After I quit my job, I had a lot of free time to explore and choose a path. I will not say I'm on the right path today. In fact, I enjoyed trying out many different paths and wearing different hats. I did not achieve many of my initial FIRE goals, such as becoming a UX designer, etc. But that's alright. If one hat does not fit, I try another.
If you could speak to your younger self, the ones just starting to save and dream of freedom, what would you say? And for those currently working towards their own version of independence, what's one thing you hope they remember?
That younger self who just started to save and dream is not very young. She was a 38-year-old divorcee. Probably I would ask her to just all in for crypto. But if you are referring to my 25-year-old self who never bothered to save, I would ask her to start dreaming of what she really wants for herself and not for others, make more friends, learn to enjoy solitude, find more hobbies. Also, I probably ask her to buy 100 Bitcoins. For those working towards independence, please learn to understand what makes you happy and work towards that. Take a balanced approach and learn to enjoy what life can offer you while working towards independence. Take pride in the milestones you achieve, such as passive income that can pay for your daily coffee. Is coffee FI?